Thanks a lot for joining us on another edition of Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. I'm Anne Nwawadu. On the program this week, we find out the various corporate social responsibility efforts of the founder and group managing director of Rain Oil Limited, Gabriel Ogbeche. Also on the program, we have a chat with the General Manager, Policy, Government and Public Affairs for Chevron Companies in Nigeria, Mr. Esimaje Breakin. Once again, welcome to Kaleidoscope. Rain Oil Limited is an integrated downstream oil and gas company. The Rain Oil Group comprises business operations which span across the petroleum downstream value chain, that is, petroleum product storage, haulage, distribution, and retail sales. Incorporated in November 1994 and commenced business as a petroleum product marketing company in May 1997, Rain Oil Limited believes in creating superior value for all stakeholders, including the communities where they operate. The company has established numerous philanthropic initiatives to help boost socio-economic well-being of members of host communities and other parts of Nigeria. Let's find out more from the founder, Gabriel Ogbeche.
Thank you very much. In Rain Oil, we take corporate social responsibility very seriously. On an annual basis, we have a budget for CSR because we are very firm believers of the fact that as you do well in a society, as you prosper in a society, that it's extremely very important that you give back to the society that is also giving you so much as a way of reaching out to the less privileged people, reaching out to the indigent members of the society, and most importantly, add value to the community. So it's something we do in a structured manner on an annual basis.
So give us a breakdown of the various sectors you're actively involved in terms of CSR and why you decided to choose those sectors.
Our CSR is focused on, one, we do infrastructure, another one we sponsor sports, tennis in particular. We are heavy on supporting orphanage homes. And then we also build more like classroom blocks in communities where we operate.
Now, I noticed you seem to be very interested in sports. You do the yearly tennis competition. Is there a particular reason you have chosen tennis?
Well, sports is one tool through which you can actually impact the younger generation. Tennis is a game I'm particularly passionate about. I've played tennis since I was a kid. I follow tennis internationally. If you look at the top tennis players worldwide, I mean, look at Novak Djokovic, for example. I was reading the report yesterday. Novak has won more than $150 million just in prize winnings alone. So tennis is one sport through which our young ones can make very decent living for themselves. So we have decided to play our own role, no matter how small, to support the young ones to take interest in tennis and earn very good, decent living for themselves. Over the last 10 years, we sponsor the Rain Oil annual tennis tournament. We are very passionate about tennis, developing tennis in Nigeria, where we bring in the best tennis players in Nigeria to come and compete and win very good sums. Over the years, we've also devoted very tidy sum in sponsoring the #1 tennis player in Nigeria. I mean, I remember there's a player called Sylvester Emmanuel that we gave a $90,000 scholarship to go play tennis in Barcelona in Spain. He was there for like 2 years. Currently, we're also looking at other potential prospects that we can support.
What's the positive influence the annual sporting event has had on your beneficiaries?
We've seen it make a lot of difference to them. It's a tournament they all look forward to on an annual basis. Starting at the beginning of every year, we begin to get calls and inquiries. When is it going to take place this year? Unfortunately, 2020, we've had the COVID-19. Just about, I think that was on Saturday, 2 days ago, the #1 tennis player, Sylvester Emmanuel, he came to check up on me. We played tennis together, and he was asking if we are still going to hold it this year. It's something we're looking at very, very seriously, because even though we are passionate about holding the tournament, but we need venue, because typically we play it either in Ikoyi Club or in Lagos Country Club in Ikeja. But because of the COVID-19 restrictions and the guidelines for clubs to reopen, we are still watching if it's something we can still hold this year, but we really want to hold it.
Okay, and are you looking at taking tennis beyond Nigeria?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Our plan for 2020 was actually to make it an international tournament. 2 years ago, we engaged the best tennis player Nigeria has ever produced, a man called Nduka Udizo, or those who play tennis call him the Duke. I think he got to round 4 in Wimbledon sometime in the 80s. So we engaged him to work with us to try and make this what we call a challengers tournament. So you can attract high-ranking international tennis players. Make it about $100,000 in terms of prize money. And that's something we are seriously working on. We're also engaging with the NTF to see how we can, at the minimum, at least start by even inviting tennis players from the African countries. We really have very great plans for the tournament, and we want to upscale it and make it an international tournament.
And aside tennis, do you have interest in other sports and growing talents in a different sport?
Well, like they say, put your money where your passion is. I'm passionate about tennis. I understand tennis. I follow tennis. So it's easy for us to sponsor tennis. I'm not a... Everybody loves football, but I never played football as a kid. I've always liked the fact that when in tennis, you stay on your side, I stay on my side. You hit the ball to me, I hit the ball to you. You know, we have very little, very little contact. But I believe that companies should take one sport and concentrate on it. We've chosen tennis. Other people can do football. I have friends who do basketball. And all kinds of sports. But for us, it's about tennis.
All right. Now, another area that catches my attention is education. What has the organization been able to do in improving the education sector in Nigeria?
Education is one area where we commit a lot of resources because we are very passionate about education. We believe that if you want to make a difference in this country, the difference is going to come from educating the people, teach the people, give them knowledge, and this country will be a better place. So education, we take communities where we operate. For example, we have a petroleum storage facility in a town called Ogara in Delta State. Last year, we built and commissioned a complete classroom block for one of the secondary schools in Ogara called Oreki Grammar School. We built it, we equipped it, we commissioned it, we put desks, we put everything in the place. And then we went around all the schools in Ogara, both primary and post-primary, and we gave 6,000 school bags to every single school child in Ogara. And then we distributed more than 10,000 exercise books so that way every single child who is a pupil in Ogara gets impacted. Because for us, those are the leaders of tomorrow. So the best way to impact them is to impact them from an educational point of view. And then beyond Ogara, we also do that. I mean, it's something which we do more like something we do nationwide. In my community in Ijumujuboko, on an annual basis, we distribute school bags, we distribute exercise books. In a town called Ikom in Cross River State, we've also built classroom blocks. 2 years ago, we took it nationwide. As far as Kaduna, we asked our managers all over the country to identify schools that we could impact. So they came up with a list of schools, some of which I can't even remember their names, but every one of those schools got school bags, got exercise books, and it's something which we do going forward.
Directly or indirectly, one thing that has affected everyone on this planet is the COVID-19 pandemic. What is your organization doing in cushioning the effect of the pandemic in Nigeria?
COVID-19 pandemic was an opportunity for every single corporate organization to rise up and support the government and support the community and support the indigent members of the society. At the onset of COVID-19, the first thing we did was to rally every single tank farm operator that we know operating in Delta State to come together and support the Delta State government in terms of COVID-19. I remember that we raised the sum of 100 million naira to support the Delta State government, and then we deployed that resources to get them 2 ambulances, get them foodstuffs, get them hospital beddings, get them testing equipment, and then also at the national level, we also supported NNPC, I think with the sum of 50 million naira to also build one of the isolation centers or hospitals that they were doing in Abuja.
Are there other areas in health that you have been able to intervene?
Yes, I think it was last year or so, we did a health outreach, went to communities where we operate, like Oshodi in Lagos. We got eye doctors, got eyeglasses, they did eye tests for people, those who had eye problem like cataract, they did them operation. We did it in Oshodi, we did it in Kaduna, we did it somewhere in Delta State as well. We do medical outreaches on a periodic basis.
And let's talk about infrastructure. We know investing in infrastructure means greater development for any nation. But a lot of people will say that road construction, for example, should be left to government alone. Why have you chosen to construct roads and take care of a lot of infrastructure in societies across Nigeria?
To improve this society, it has to be a collaborative effort. Government will play their part, the private sector will play their part, and then those who God has also blessed and given the resources to be able to add value should step up and do it. So we decided to take on road because we saw that road in a very dilapidated state where a lot of trucks got stuck on that road. Poor farmers could not evacuate their farm produce just because it rained. It's something which we saw. So we decided to come in and do a 2-kilometer road in Idumujuboko in Delta State. We did that road with drains on both sides. So we did that road with 4 kilometers of drains. And today I tell you, it is one project that has turned the fortune of that community around. Anytime you go there, the community people, they are so excited about having that road. Today, trips that used to take them 3 hours to make, they make under 5 minutes. We have a tank farm in Ijegun in Lagos State. This year alone, Rain Oil and other operators in Ijegun, we've committed more than 700 million naira developing a road infrastructure in Ijegun, and that development is an ongoing basis.
And what should we be expecting from Rain Oil in terms of CSR in the future?
Rain Oil takes CSR very seriously. So it's something which we do in a structured manner. It's something which we do on an annual basis. It's something which on an annual basis we provide for it. As long as God keeps Rain Oil alive and keeps the company prospering, you will keep hearing from us as far as CSR is concerned.
When we return in a moment, we take a look at the CSR initiatives of another oil and gas company, Chevron. Welcome back. You're still watching Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. As one of the largest oil producers and investors in Nigeria, Chevron has been making significant investments in the country for nearly 60 years. Through Chevron's principal subsidiary in Nigeria, Chevron Nigeria Limited, the company operates and holds a 40% interest in 8 concessions in the onshore and near onshore regions of the Niger Delta. But some years ago, Chevron adopted a new community-led participation and partnership approach for CSR. The general manager for Chevron companies in Nigeria, Mr. Esimaje Breakin, explains how it works.
As a company, Chevron, we believe that the sustainability of any business, is on the foundation of corporate responsibility. We thought through our community engagement processes and came about what is today known as the Global Memorandum of Understanding, which is a multi-stakeholder participatory partnership process for a community-led development process. So in the model, Chevron, as operator of the NNPC Chevron joint venture, contributes funds into dedicated accounts that the communities use to implement projects that they identify by themselves. And this is actually guided by some transparency and accountability models, a governance model to ensure that things are done in a manner that people are accountable and all parties see very transparently how funds are disbursed and spent to execute projects.
You focus your corporate social responsibility initiatives on health, environment, agriculture, and many more. But let's start with health. Tell us some of the interventions that your organization has been able to do in the health sector.
We believe very strongly that a healthy society definitely will create a progressive business. And through the GMOU model, we've been able to, working with the communities and government, carry out some extensive needs assessments. And the communities themselves under this model have built some cottage hospitals. One of them is a very prominent one in Bayelsa State, built by the Dodo River Regional Development Foundation. Was done by, of course, them, the leadership of that foundation under the GMOU model, built a cottage hospital in the Keremo local government. That hospital right now is about the only existing health service infrastructure in that part of the state because it's very remote. Right in Delta State, the Egbebara Barabatu Central Development Foundation, that's also an organ of the communities within the GMOU model, have built 2 cottage hospitals in the Warri North and the Warri South area of southwest area of Delta State. One of them is the cottage hospital in Shekelewu, a remote community called Shekelewu, and another is in Oporaza. I'm sure you know Oporaza very well, close to our Escravos terminal operations. We are currently working very closely with another cluster of communities in Ondo State, and they're building right now what is called the Mother and Child Center. That is currently at very advanced stage. It's focused mainly on women and children in that area. The Ondo State government is very much involved in that. In the past 10 years or so, we've built, working with our co-venturers in the Agbami field, we've built about 28 chest clinics across the country. And these chest clinics are helping to reduce the prevalence of TBs in some very vulnerable communities in different parts of the country. Sometime last year, I think 2019, the wife of the president, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Mohamedu Buhari, actually presented Chevron with an award, for the strides that the company has been making in dealing with TB issues, generally across the country. And it will interest you to note that of the 28 chest clinics that have been built, in the course of the outbreak of the COVID pandemic, a few of them were actually quickly converted as response centers for COVID pandemic treatment. And in the area of HIV/AIDS, sometime in between 2017 and 2019, went into a program where we had to deal with issues around antiretroviral medication access to many people who probably were not really getting that level of access to that. And that was as a result of the partnership that we went into with Global Funds, working with the Ministry of Health. At a point in time, Bayelsa State was known to have very high prevalence of HIV. And we worked closely with the Bayelsa State government and an organization called PACT through an intervention that we call PROMOTE, as the prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS. Over a 5-year period, collaborating with other partners, we were able to bring down the prevalence rate of HIV in Bayelsa State, with over 60,000 women, reached, through tests.
Now, talking about partnerships, your organization has been able to build healthy relationships to develop the education sector in Nigeria. Share with us some of those programs that you have done.
We've built classrooms, we've built state-of-the-art, what you call science laboratories across the country. We're working with our joint venture partners, especially in the Agbami field, which has enabled us to touch different parts of the country. Our scholarship programs are actually designed to ensure that we reach targeted, scholars to help them have great access to education across the country. This scholarship has also helped, to 16,000 people have benefited from that targeted, what we call AMEPS, I think engineering and medical professionals students. What we see there is that students are able to focus more, and going through the records over a period of less than 10 years, that program has actually turned out about 700 students who graduated with first class. Another aspect of our education program is the scholarship program that we dedicate to the physically challenged, especially the visually impaired people. That's a constituency that many people forget so easily. We found out that we need to focus on them and ensure that they get the right support for them to continue, their studies in school. Something I also want to talk about has to do with the building of hybrid libraries across the country. These libraries enable students to, to start trying their hands on technology in sourcing for resources online, apart from having the physical books in the libraries themselves.
It's obvious Chevron has some interesting sports. Taking a look at the annual junior tennis program, last year over 200 youths actually participated in that sport. What's the impact this has made on the young ones?
The sport of tennis is one that has not been given great attention in the country, and we see a lot of potential in the youths of Nigeria in that. So we started this tennis program to get kids, who show some interest in tennis, to build them up first of all, and create that environment where they are able to interact positively and bring out the best energy out of them to be able to be more productive for themselves. We get a lot of support from the Ministry of Sports, and the state government also are very, very keen in ensuring that this continues and keeping the youths engaged.
What has Chevron done or is doing in empowering women in Nigeria?
In the communities where we do business, because it is participatory, we are able to encourage them to ensure that women are in the executive leadership of the communities. Coming back to our business, at the leadership level of Chevron, we see women at top management levels in the Chevron organization, and we're very proud of what they do and the value that they bring.
Going forward, tell us your future plans and how you intend to continue to promote sustainable development in Nigeria.
Chevron has been in Nigeria now for close to 60 years, and we're very, very proud of our partnership with the Nigerian government and the people that we've been working with and partnering with over the years. As the business environment improves, we will continue to work in partnership with the Nigerian government and the people of Nigeria to bring about a positive impact through our corporate social responsibility programs that we continue to improve the well-being of the society.
And that brings us to the end of the program today, as we encourage organizations to continue to do more for the people. Don't forget to connect with us via social media handles on your screen. I'm Anne Umawado. Thanks for watching and stay safe.